No one's here yet. Just ask me some questions. I'll have some music on in the background. And just feel free to ask me some questions. Hopefully people will start pouring in soon. I have my record player set up back here. Oh, we have someone. Just any questions? Any? Oh, here come some people. Yeah, just felt like doing this today. Any questions you have for me, I'll surely answer them for you. Good afternoon to you. Huh. Interesting. Sorry about that. Thank you. I've been researching this case for about 2 years now. And I'm pretty young, but I've found quite a bit. There's a lot of people who've done a lot more research than me, but I've found quite a bit already. What got me interested was back in 2021 I saw this Zapruder film for the first time, and I just wanted to know more about it, and so I started doing some research, and well, did more and more, and now I'm here. I'm working on getting more onto my channel soon. I have some stuff on the way. It'll hopefully be here by the end of this week, but I'm not sure about it. Of course, I'm moving soon, so won't be able to post much. Thank you. Yeah, again, I've found quite a bit. I still have tons of stuff that I haven't put up yet, just because I haven't had the time to put together a video for it. But I'll hopefully get all that soon. Yeah, the education forum, I do try and see what all is on there every now and then. I don't go on there all the time, just because I'm not a member yet, but I've talked with some people on there, and yeah, they've said some good things about me. I'll flip this over. I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but it's just some records on it. Yeah, I get that a lot. I've talked to people who've been researching for decades and decades, and they all say the same thing, that it's interesting that people as young as me are interested in this kind of stuff. I've talked with Todd Vaughn. Uh, he is a very good expert in the case. He has quite a bit, and hopefully he'll be sharing something with me soon that I might be able to release. I don't know about it yet, but hopefully I'll have some more stuff out soon. I'm working on getting more, of course. I'm reaching out to the National Archives. Yeah. I've heard a lot about Jim Garrison. His case was really interesting. I know quite a bit about it, but I haven't actually gone in and read all the transcripts from the case. But I know quite a bit about that case. It's a shame that David Ferrie died in, see, it's 67, right? No. Was it 68? I can't remember. Yeah. Interesting how that happened. Lee Bowers, too. Yeah. But most of the stuff that I have related to the assassination I've already put up. Yeah, that's what I thought. 67. Yeah, most of the stuff I have, I've already either I've already put it up, or someone else has already put it up. I don't have a lot right now related to the assassination that I don't have up. See, I have this record here. Got it a while ago, but of course you can find it on YouTube already. It's 4 Days That Shocked the World by Colpix Records. It's about an hour and a half. Yeah, I agree with you on that. My opinion is that E. Howard Hunt could have been one of, somewhat involved in the case. I don't know if he was shooting, but yeah. Interesting that Lee Harvey Oswald was down on the second floor 30 seconds after the shooting, and 5 minutes before the shooting he was seen there. Yeah. I'll get to see the sniper's nest soon when I get down there to Texas. That'll be interesting to see that. Forgive me if my family comes and goes around my house. But again, I don't have too much. Yeah. Changing this record here. Get one of my long plays out. I had a doctor's appointment this morning. Wasn't too interesting. I'm alright. hopefully I'll have some more up soon. I just sent some photos out to be scanned. Yeah. Uh, I personally like Leonard Skinner. I also like, of course, the Beatles. I like a lot of older 60s, 70s music. I don't really like popular music today. Yeah. Yeah. Um, of course, I've said before I'm pretty young. This year I'll be 14. Um, this October I'll be 14. Oh, so I guess, yeah, by the time of the JFK Lancer conference I'll be 14. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people are really impressed by that. But not too many people mind, of course. I know, I usually know what I'm talking about. Of course, I'll still make mistakes. But, yeah, I'll have a book out probably by the end of the year. Yeah. Let's see, what all do I have? I don't have too much. Hey, you're here. Uh, yeah. Uh, hey, no true flags here. I tried to contact you through the comments, but you hadn't responded. Um, it was in the comment section of the video I posted about some of your videos. I, of course, respect your work. I can tell you put a lot of effort into it. But I'd love to just chat with you sometime, even if you want me to post it. I'm not against doing that, it's just, I usually value people's privacy, and so I like to ask. Yeah, well, I usually before I decide if anyone knows what they're talking about, I listen to them first. That's usually the determining factor if you to decide if someone is crazy or not. But I've listened to some of your stuff and it's interesting. I mean, it makes sense to me. I'm just not completely convinced because there's not too much evidence, but of course, a lot of it makes sense. Usually with this kind of stuff, you want evidence. Let's see, like I said, I'm moving soon, so yeah, I've read quite a bit. I have several books on me shooting. I've gone through several older documents related to the case, HSCA and ARB, tons of stuff. Yeah. Of course, uh, I've actually held some copies of the Warren Commission exhibits volumes. Not the exhibits themselves, but I've never read the report in full, but the library close to here had happened to have good copy of the a lot of the Warren Commission exhibit volumes in their reference collection, and so I went down there and looked at it. A lot of interesting stuff in there. I was able to get a lot of able to get a lot of high quality scans from the volumes. Yeah. See, forgive me if I keep checking back here. This is where I keep a lot of my stuff. I have a lot of it packed away right now. But some of it I do have out. Yeah. By the way, is it, I received an email a while ago that said that, you have another channel by the name of The Angry Astronaut. Is that true? Because I've looked through and it kind of matches, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Let's see. Again, I don't have too much. Hi there. I don't have too much out right now, but I have a lot of it packed away because, of course, I'm moving. I have tons and tons of stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of it online, but it will take a while. Of course I have other interests besides just this case, but I don't usually share them because I think it's important to keep the relevancy of this channel. I'm not really sure. It's just a record album I picked up from, I think, vintage stock, some store. I didn't mind what kind of music it was, I just need some for the background and stuff like this. Yeah, probably. Let's see, what are these labeled? Yeah, it's an opera. But hopefully I'll have some more up soon. Of course, there is one thing I am selling from my collection that I won't have anymore once I sell it. It's just no one's bought it yet. I posted a while ago my copy of the Douse Police Dicta Belts. And I've decided I don't really need it anymore. It's on a big 7-inch reel-to-reel tape, and I'm selling that. I definitely don't think that Oswald was the only shooter. In fact, I don't think Oswald was very much involved in it at all. I think he had some foreknowledge of it, but he didn't do too much. Yeah, I should have done this stream earlier. I just packed up all my stuff. I think Oswald, I believe he was on the first floor of the book depository because, it's mentioned in JFK in 1991 that he was probably waiting for something, possibly a call, and all of the phones in the building were on the first floor. There was no phones above the first floor. And so I believe he was on the first floor, probably not, like, he's not visible in any photographs, I don't think. But I think he was probably watching the motorcade from just inside the building where he could still hear the phones in the vestibule area. It's a shame we don't have too many photos of that during the assassination. We could probably pinpoint him there. But yeah, that's where I think he was during the shooting. Let's see. I do have this that I haven't put up before. This is just a postcard album, postcard set. These are all taken by John E. Miller, except this one. Yeah, I've noticed that. Of course, none of these actually show the assassination. These are at Love Field and Parkland. It's interesting that no one took a home movie at Parkland on the day of the shooting. I've seen people there with their home movie cameras, but there's no film of Parkland after the shooting, with JFK still there. Wonder if any of those will ever surface, because there's also people there at the Trade Mart with their home movie cameras who probably weren't able to get any film. It would be interesting to see if they got any film. Yeah. Yeah, but the professional films are all black and white. There is absolutely no color film at Parkland on the day of the shooting, besides of the hearse leaving the hospital. Yeah, if there wasn't too many people there with their home movie cameras, but there were some if you go look through the photographs. Of course, the professional films are much longer than any amateur film would be. The video I posted before, do you mean the Atkins film by Tom Atkins? Stoughton he didn't bring his movie camera. He had a 16mm movie camera, but he didn't bring it on the Texas strip. Tom Atkins was in Camera Car 1, and I know he shot some film at Parkland, but not too much. Yeah, Stoughton had a 120 camera and I think a 35mm black and white one. But he wouldn't have had his movie camera there. This is something I'll be citing a lot in my documentary, in my book, excuse me. This is a letter from the Dallas Morning News to Edward Bray. You can see here the actual letter doesn't contain much, but there's these notes on the side and top, and they say, 4 members of the organization, JFK COTT, were the assassins of the president. 2 were in the Texas building. 2 were further up the parkway. 8mm film shots of the actual assassination were made from the Texas building by the assassins. Still photos from this film were sent to the Warren Commission. Later, authorities duplicate these angle shots from the Texas building. The rifle with camera mounted underneath had been tested on target towed by boat in the upper reaches of the Venison Dam. An actual dry run was made by the Texas building. And the later one reads, 208 feet of edited film showing rifle recoil, agent falling down, test run, and actual shots of the car as seen by the assassins as he pulled the trigger were offered to Life magazine. This film was turned down by editor Roger Keith of Life. Naval intelligence questioned one of the assassins and allowed him to go free. Lee Harvey Oswald was set up as a patsy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Staunton, he did have a 16mm camera, but he didn't, for some reason he didn't use it on the Texas trip. He wasn't too familiar with it. But you can find film shot by him during a trip to Europe, and of course other events too. He usually shot color too, not much black and white. But none of the Texas trip, unfortunately. He was one of the only people to go with JFK to Hyannis Port, and they went, and he took a lot of film of that, photos and film. It's French. Yeah, this is The Killing of a President by Robert Groden. He has, I don't think it's in this book, but he had misidentified some film. I think it was in The Search for Lee Harvey Oswald. That's another one of his books. He misidentified some film as being from John Martin in New Orleans. It was actually from James Doyle. Is it in here? I don't think it is. I don't believe that still is in this book. Yeah, here it is. This still right here. Somewhere he says that it is from the Martin film. This is from the Doyle film. Yeah. Groden, of course, knows quite a bit other interesting things. He put a lot into this book, and he told Kenneth, who I know pretty well now, he's going to reprint The Killing of a President and The Search for Lee Harvey Oswald as one book, and I've been catching some of the errors he made for him, and just telling him to Kenneth so he can tell Groden. Hopefully I'll get to meet Groden soon, and I'll be able to talk to him directly. Seems like a very good expert in the case. Yeah, there's the Powell photo. Interesting I didn't include the whole thing. Because there's more to that photo than just that. Yeah. Uh, there's a rumor that I heard from Kenneth that you guys might find interesting. Um, Apparently, right across from the Texas Theater, there was a person who owned some kind of store. I can't remember what he said it was. But the owner of that store was on the roof of the building with his home movie camera at the time of the arrest, and he filmed the entire arrest from the top of his building there. And he knew someone who had a copy of it, who had seen it. But he never asked for a copy. He didn't think to, and he does regret not getting a copy of that. And he doesn't know where that person is now. Yeah, um, that'd be a great film to see because there's basically not too much coverage at all of the arrest of Oswald. Um, I've been looking for more of James McCammon's photos. Surprisingly, there is absolutely no record of him even existing besides his photos and his daughter. I looked through birth records, death records, obituaries, everything. The census records. There's nothing for even his last name at all. Um, yeah, the Reed photos. Reed worked for the same place as James Powell. His full name was Stuart Leslie Reed. Strangely, he dropped off his film at a local photo shop to have them develop it. He signed something that let the FBI pick up his film, and then left for New Orleans and was never seen again until his death. It's interesting. Of course, he soon requested his photos back from the FBI, and they gave a lot of them to him, except besides one. But yeah, interesting how he was basically wiped off the face of the earth. Yeah. But I have most of Reed's photos. I don't know about all of them, because there's usually 36 photos on a roll color film, either 24 or 36. And he took more than 24 photos. A lot of them I have, but don't have all of them. He took photos on Main Street of the motorcade. Not too many people have seen those. I hadn't seen them before. Let me go get my big files. I have them here. Where did I put those? Here they are. Yeah. That. You flip through and find. Ah, here it is. Reed Stuart Leslie. I have some files on him. Enclosed here are 2 copies of a release granting permission. Yeah, I have some of these. Of course, I have. And this is his signed release to the FBI. It's a copy of it. Yeah, I like to print all this stuff off because it's so much easier to read. It's very difficult for me to read stuff when it's online. It's just easier to print it off. And of course, I have some prints of his Main Street photos. That's the first one. And his second one. Yeah, I'll head down to Daily Plaza on the 22nd this year, just to, I don't know what's going on all that day, but, well, that would be Wednesday, or Thursday. It would be Wednesday or Thursday. And, of course, I do have school. Yeah. I haven't seen those in color. These are the only existing prints that I know of. I think they were made by the FBI. Of course, he had one more photo, or two more, on Main Street. Those I haven't printed off yet. But, yeah, I have tons and tons of stuff printed out. These are almost completely full. I have these, which are several things related to some of the films. Yeah. Turn off this from Dennis Morissette's blog. This is a list of a bunch of useful stuff, including some of the autopsy photos. No, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those letters before. Of course, I have this. It's a copy I printed off a while ago. It doesn't have too much in it. It just doesn't have any stills from whatever film they analyzed. But it does have some interesting diagrams, and yeah. Has a pretty good map of Daily Plaza. Photograph of the knoll. And of course a lot more. I see what this is. This is, they analyzed the Hughes and Bell films and the Dillard photos. Says 20th of November 1967. Yeah, that one. That sounds about right. Have these. This is a one labeled color photo ink. First thing in here is a print of a photograph. This is in Pictures of the Pain, which I have. I've packed it away, so I don't have it with me right now, but these are some documents relating to some photos found at Color Photo Inc., which was a developing place in Dallas by Edward Foley. This was one of them found. Of course, it was originally in color, but I don't have a good full one in color. That one's a little bit cropped just because the printer crops it for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, big folder on the DCA. I don't have too much useful stuff in there. All that you can find online from the FBI. This is something I've actually been looking for. Not the contents of here, but what's talked about in this. Yeah, this is from David Dix. Of course, it's hilarious last name, but very serious topic. Yeah, this guy, he found a cassette from the Dallas Police Dictated Belts in the Minneapolis Public Library in 1990. He borrowed it and made a few copies. I have not. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't even heard about before, but I'm trying to learn a lot more about it, but right now, again, I'm not only a little busy with packing and moving all my stuff, but I'm mostly interested in the photographic and audio and film evidence of the case. I'm not too awfully interested in much of the other parts of the case. Yeah, this... This, Minneapolis library tape, I can't... Apparently it was put online a while ago, but I can't find it anywhere. Apparently it was an amazing quality tape. But it's nowhere for some reason. Yeah, I have, and I don't think there's shots on it just because the part where the shots apparently are, yeah, the part where the shots apparently are, was recorded over a minute after the shooting. And so I don't think that those are shots. But of course it was recorded during the shooting. I don't think of the shooting, but during the shooting. I don't believe you can hear the shooting in the recording. One thing I've been looking for, of course feel free to tell me if you have any information on these people. I want more information on a guy named Cat Field. Yeah, of course I'll do some more research when I'm less busy, but this Cat Field guy, he was mentioned by the FBI in Dallas. He said he had photographs or film at the time of the assassination. But there is basically no information on this kid. He apparently was in, I think, high school or college at the time of the shooting. But there is no information on this guy. And even the FBI, the Dallas FBI field office report that talked about him, I can't find it anywhere. They haven't put it online. Yeah. Apparently there's a rumor that he had a film of the assassination, but no one's ever seen it besides the FBI in Dallas. But I'll probably be submitting a FOIA request for some documents on him. Yeah, I don't know much about George Bush. I don't particularly believe he was particularly involved in the shooting, but yeah, I haven't done too much research into that. Yeah, the Pascal film. Gosh, every single copy of that online I've been able to find is terrible. Like, um, the best one I've been able to find, was, it was, I think, I don't know whose it was. I think it was included in some documentary, but it's of the one just after the shooting, and you can just barely see some of the color peeping through. But of course, I don't have it to show right now. Huh. But apparently, Pascal, I don't think she's alive anymore. I think her family still owns her film. I don't know if they're gonna be able to, or if they are wanting to give it up to someone. But I want to contact them soon. They still live in the Dallas area, pretty sure. Yeah, again, I have tons and tons of stuff relating to the assassination. Not all of this is directly linked to the shooting, but all of it is somehow relevant. I have folders on some of the places that have handled the film that I have. Summit Video Services, I have the invoices that they've given me. Yeah, these are just some of the invoices. Nothing too interesting in there. Yeah, the medical evidence is interesting to me. Mostly the autopsy photos. Yeah. Uh, I've actually um, today I contacted Todd Vaughn because I've gotten to know him some over the past couple of weeks, and he's given me a lot of what he has. But he has a lot of the autopsy photos of Oswald. Okay. He has autopsy photos of Oswald and photos from, God, I'm gonna butcher this last name, but George de Morinchild. I'm not sure of that, but he knew Oswald. Yeah, he released that back in the 90s. He's much older now, but great guy. Great guy. Uh, yeah, that one. I'm not very good at reading these last names, or pronouncing them at least. But he has photos of, he has the crime scene photos uh, from when they discovered his body, in 1977, because he, of course, committed suicide. Yeah. I don't know all about actual ruling of it. I don't haven't done too much research into that, but Yeah, apparently had a shotgun and yeah. But I have the crime scene photos from when they discovered him. Uh, I won't be showing those, not only because I can't right now, but they are too a little too graphic, so I don't think YouTube would let me put them on here. Yeah, I haven't done too much research on this guy, but he also took a film of 1961 with his third wife. They went down to Central America and they took a home movie of their travels, and they caught preparations for um, the Bay of Pigs invasion. God, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But that film, he showed it to Oswald before the assassination. Apparently, the National Archives has it, but they don't know where it is. And I'm looking into getting a copy of uh, the audio recording of DeMorn Chill's suicide. Um, Todd Vaughn he has heard it, but he never got a copy of it. I think the National Archives has it. It's just difficult to find. Yeah, when I finally figure out where a lot of this stuff is, I'll be requesting some of it from the National Archives. Hopefully soon. Yeah. Let's see. I will be gone for a moment. I will return in about 1 minute. And I'm back. Sorry, I had to take care of some business out there. Anything? No, I didn't see anything in there. But yeah, I'll get some stuff from the National Archives. Yeah, Roger Craig. I do think his story is interesting. But I've seen a photo before. Yeah, I think it's either one of the Allen photos or another one that shows the rifle with the clip. Well, I don't know what I think about Craig. I haven't done too much research into him, but of course I know generally what he believes. But I'll have to do a lot more research into him. But while you're still here, No True Flags, again, I'd like to talk to you sometime, even if that means, you said you want to do everything public, so, I can give you my email and we can do a Zoom meeting, and I can of course post that if you would like. I just think it'd be a great idea to do a video on go into depth on what all you believe, and I think it'd be great to have a good conversation with. It's just I wasn't able to find any way to contact you besides YouTube. So yeah, I'd love to at least do a video with you. I could put it up on my channel, or you could put it up on yours. I don't mind. But yeah, I think it'd be a great idea to just have a conversation. Usually I refrain from recording my conversations with people just because some people like their privacy, and I respect that. But usually I'll ask someone if it's alright to record. And usually I don't post those recordings, even if I do record, because I respect people. But if you certainly, if you want me to post it, I certainly will. I don't have a problem with it. But I'd love to hear from you sometime. Of course, I have a lot of my, well, I have my email and he's watching somewhere. Yeah, he's one of the 8 people here. But yeah, I'd love to reach out to you, No True Flags, sometime. It'd be a great idea to do a video with you. If you're still watching, I hope you are. But yeah, we'll have some more stuff up soon, and of course I'm a little bit busy, so don't be surprised if you don't hear from me for a while. Don't have too much else. If anyone has any more questions, yeah, my channel is growing rather quickly. It's, I mean, it's not the biggest channel on the assassination, but it is certainly a pretty good sized one. I have tons and tons of videos already. I think the best I've ever gotten was 411,000 views. But usually my videos only get a couple hundred views. I don't really mind. I just like to make them, so I don't really care who watches them. But does anyone have any other questions? I'd love to answer some. What else? Yeah, thank you. But No True Flags, I'd love to hear from you sometime. Kenneth just messaged me. He, you know you can use the chat, right? If you'd like. He asked me where I see my research in 5 years. I mean, I think by then I'll have a pretty good sized collection of films and photos and documents. Definitely more than I have right now. Ah, I see. But I'd love to hear from you. No true flags. Just whenever you want to, just send me an email. I'm awake most of the time. Probably won't get back to you right away, but love to hear from you. Back to the question. Yeah, I think I know quite a bit more than I do now, of course. Um, but I don't. Hopefully, I live down there in Dallas by then. Well, still live down there, and I'll be able to put up a lot of stuff that's never been put online before, at least from what I know. Um, yeah. Um, okay, we have quite a few people watching now. Gosh, it's been an hour already. Uh, yeah, any more questions? I'd love to answer. It doesn't have to be about the assassination even. Uh, I'm interested in other things too. Yeah, I have a pretty good collection of other stuff that's not even related to the assassination. I don't usually share it because I don't think everyone's interested in the same stuff that I am. But I'll go ahead and share a few things. Well, I don't live near Dallas yet. I will soon. I'm moving there. I'll live in Fort Worth with my father. But unfortunately, I don't live there yet. Yeah. Um, but, I'll go ahead and share a few things. Yeah, I haven't read that book. There's a lot of books that I haven't read. I only have a few. Yeah. UFOs, there's a bunch of stuff on that. I don't know what I think about that. But, yeah, I have a lot of, like, even film that's not related to the assassination. Yeah, where did I put that? Here it is. I haven't even gone down to Texas yet, but I'll be going down there in August just to see some things. Well, not to see something. I'll be living down there. Gosh. But yeah. Yeah, here's something I have that I want more information about, if anyone knows anything about it. This is a big 1,200 feet reel of 16mm film. Yeah. It is a documentary by, I think, Charles. Here it is. Yeah, Charles Goldman, named Research to Protect the Tropics. Probably from the 70s, I don't know exactly when. But yeah, it's pretty long. I would scan it, but that would be $300, which I don't have. So, probably have Kenneth scan it when he gets a 16mm scanner. I don't know when that will be because he doesn't have too much money right now. But yeah, I'm looking for information about this if anyone has any. Probably the only existing copy of it. Of course, I have photos from JFK's visit to the Berlin Wall. This is some of the stuff I'm having scanned. You see, strip 1 is missing right now because I'm having it scanned. I think my favorite researcher is probably Robert Groden, just because he's done so much research. Yeah, this stuff is from JFK's visit to the Berlin Wall. These are, I think, original positives directly from the negatives. They're not the actual out-of-camera negatives, but yeah. I can tell they're not the originals because they're numbered. That doesn't happen on regular film because it's not cut when it's on a roll. But yeah, the first strip, I'm having it scanned. It'll be done by the end of this week. Yeah, I'll hopefully have that soon. Of course, I'm having some of my pictures I took scanned too. Nothing related to the assassination, but yeah. I also have this. This is a trailer for JFK in 1991. Yeah, I think I've seen Gary Shaw's copies of the Bond photos. Yeah, this is a trailer for JFK in 1991. It is unfortunately started degrading. It's started degrading because you can tell because of the vinegar smell. Of course, you guys can't tell that, but yeah, vinegar smell. Strangely, it's on here backwards. Don't know why. Yeah, that interview I did with Vince was great. Could anyone tell me why this is on here backwards? I never understood why it was. This is just the title card. Yeah, I've talked with Vince before, and he is a great guy. It's hard to see just with regular light what's on here. Well, it doesn't really matter what side you view this from. You can see the image if you have a light source. Of course, if you actually want to view it correctly, you have to have it on the right side. But, yeah. It's really hard to tell just because I don't have a light source. But the Nix film was on here somewhere. Yeah, I don't know why this is on here backwards. Like, what I mean by that is that the end card and titles of it are at the very beginning of the roll, and the actual beginning of the trailer is somewhere here. Meaning this is probably rewound back onto here. Yeah, I don't know what happened with this. I bought it from someone. Let's see, where is the Nix film? Yeah, I submitted an FOIA request to the CIA to see if they have anything on Oswald in Mexico City. Hopefully I'll hear back from them soon. God, I know the Nix film's in here somewhere. think it would be one of Grodin's copies of the next film. I don't know. Yeah, we're getting close. I've gone through here and scanned some individual frames from it. Not in very good quality, but yeah. I haven't been following Rob Clark's podcast. I've talked with him before, and he's a great guy also. But I haven't actually listened to much of his podcasts. He's a great guy. Yeah, he usually knows what he's talking about. He's presenting at the same conference that I am this year. And the next film should be somewhere around here. Yeah, thank you. A lot of older people comment on a lot of my videos. It's interesting to hear this kind of stuff. I love hearing about it. Yeah, here's the next film. There it is. It's really hard to see because there's not light going into the film, but yeah, that's a copy of the next film on 35mm. I think it's one of Grodin's. I'm not sure if it is. I asked Kenneth and he didn't know. But yeah, that's the next film, all right. They don't show the whole thing in the trailer, but certainly some of it. Gosh, now I have to wind this back up. Yeah, I have. I just haven't posted them before, the scans I've made. I don't know how many feet this is, but it's going to take a while to wind back up, because it's on a core and not a reel. I packed away my film editor for 8mm. It's usually good for viewing film. But yeah, that would have been useful, I guess, but since this is on a core and not a reel, I can't really wind it correctly. Well, I can correctly, it's just more difficult. Yeah, I really, really love film photography and all this film stuff related to the assassination. It just really interests me. Gosh, it's tangled. Here we go. Even if there's some minor inconveniences with filming on film and taking photos on film, I love to. It's something I'm really interested in. In fact, I'll be getting a copy of the Zapruder film from Kenneth, which is one of Grodin's copies, pretty soon. I'll have that up. He's going to scan it before he gives it to me. So I'll post it before I have it. So, yeah. And I'll do another one of these live streams when I actually get down there. And I'll show you guys my 8mm copy of this Zapruder film. I don't have it right now. But I'll also have tons of other stuff that I'm sure people would love to see. I'll be receiving... No, Grodin still has a lot of his stuff. He has so much more than people actually know about. I know some of his stuff was stolen, but he still has a lot of it. He has a big box that's completely full of just copies of the Zapruder film, 8mm and 16mm, but he has quite a bit still. And he's given a lot of it to Kenneth because he knows him so well. Kenneth's a great guy. He he's been scanning some of Grodin's stuff for him, and so I've been able to post that because he's reluctant to post anything on his channel. He just hasn't. I'm not sure why, but he told me himself that he's a little bit lazy when it comes to this kind of stuff, but he is still interested in it. Yeah, Grodin, he is the kind of guy that you really want to get to know him before you ask him for anything, which, as at least what Kenneth said. But, yeah, hopefully I'll, he invited me over when I get down there, so I'll get to see him, whenever he's able. Don't think he has, I don't know what he does. I don't know if he is retired or something, I'm not sure. Pretty sure he is, but I would have to ask. But yeah, I'll be talking with him soon. And, when I get down to, Dallas, I'm gonna borrow some of Kenneth's cameras he has. He has tons of the cameras used on the day of the assassination to film it. And, of course, I'm gonna buy some film for him because it's not too cheap, but it's pretty cheap. And I'll be shooting some film in those cameras, and I'll send it off to be developed, and I'll scan it, and I'll post it. It's 8mm, so Kenneth can scan it. Yeah. Here we go, I'm finally getting to the very end of this thing. Yeah, this is just something I bought. And here we go. It's just taped on there like that. Yeah. I have a lot more film, but I have it packed away right now, just because I'm moving soon. It's in my garage. I'm not going to get it out right now, just because I taped the box up. But, yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, this is some photos I took myself, nothing related to the assassination. You see some of the ones that are missing because they're being scanned. My belief of the alterations, I certainly think that the Zapruder film was altered to some extent, because if you look in the very, very first thing in Dealey Plaza he shot of the motorcycles, there's buildings in the background of that. And if you go to Dealey Plaza, interesting question, but if you go to Dealey Plaza, the buildings, one of the buildings you can see in the film just doesn't exist, and it never has. a lot of this stuff I buy. My thoughts on the autopsy. I believe that there was some alteration done somewhere. I personally, I don't know what Kenneth all believes. You'd have to ask him yourself, or I could ask him. I personally don't know what all I think about the alterations. It's either the photos that were altered or the body itself. One of them had to have been. Yeah. I don't have too much else. See, I have a lot of boxes right now. I have my phone on my desk, and all my boxes are on my desk. What do I have in here? Oh, here they are. Yeah, Kenneth Zedeker. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I believe about the alterations. And my magazines down, all my Life magazines. Flip here. I'm gonna flip through this and show you guys why I bought this one. There is literally only one page on here. This one page is the only reason why I bought this copy of Life magazine. Huh. This page shows some of Christopher de Rosette's film. And there is basically no high quality stills of it online. Oh, the de Rosette film was 8mm. He had a Kodak Brownie movie camera. Of course, I have this one from this one's from 1967. Has the Dorman film and best known photos. Of course, you guys probably already seen that one. I have Post magazine. A lot of this stuff I bought. Some of the stuff I have inherited. But of course, a lot of it I bought myself. It's all pretty cheap. I don't know about RFK Jr. He seems at least interesting to me. I don't know about him. Yeah. We have this. Shows the Alt-Gen 6 photograph and this Miller photograph. Been David Robert Miller that took that. The Corham Flower Building. Yeah. I think the foot in the photo is Clint Hill's. It's not JFK's. I saw your video on that. No True Flags. And I do think that is Clint Hill's foot, because there's other photos that show him in that position with his foot right there. Of course, I have a copy of this Life magazine. It's a really beat up copy. The cover's falling off, but it'll do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, wow. Didn't know this was in here. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. I didn't know this was in here. This is James McCamlin's photograph of the Oswald arrest. I didn't know that was published in there. Now the Warren Commission published that too. Didn't know that was in there. I haven't looked through all this stuff page by page, but looked through a lot of it. Yeah, here's the pages with the Zapruder film. My documentary will be about the photographic evidence. Yeah, yeah. What exactly did you mean by the middle of film? I don't believe in Badge Man. What do you mean by the middle of the film? Because these are a lot of the stills. They're all black and white, of course, but they didn't include 313. But a lot of the film. What exactly did you mean by the middle of the film? You mean the part with the Stemmons sign? Sorry, I'm a little confused. Yeah, I guess you're right. There is some of during the Stemmons sign. Yeah, that's another thing about this Zapruder film. I think those people were somehow altered because you see in the motorcycle sequence they're waiting for the limousine, and the limousine turns onto Elm, and they're still waiting for the limousine, even though it's right there. And we have photographs of them reacting to the limousine that don't match up with the Zapruder film. Like the Croft photo. They're clearly moving in that picture, which isn't shown in the Zapruder film. In fact, that crowd there doesn't move at all. Yeah, I don't know what all I think. There's a lot of people here. Something I want to bring up real quick. I don't know if it's particularly related to the assassination, but it is something they have some documents about. These are from the church committee, I believe, in the 70s. They talk about the disappearance of a person named Thomas Rhea. Apparently he disappeared in, I think, 1969 and wasn't seen ever again. I think he was a Russian spy that was just wiped off the face of the earth. Wonder if anyone knows anything about that. Yeah, here it is. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, I have this document right here. It says, by letter dated November 7th, 1965, the SSC submitted 19 questions concerning the disappearance of Mr. Thomas Reha for response by the FBI. Of course, the questions are enclosed here. I won't be reading them off because there's quite a few. But yeah, if anyone knows anything about that, either email me or comment somewhere. All the people I've asked don't know anything about them. Yeah. Thomas Reha. Reha is spelled R-I-H-A. Flip this over. There's some music on again. Yeah, there we go. My record player is not the best, but it'll do. Yeah, I still don't understand what this really is, but sounds alright to me. Ah, there you are, Kenneth. Yeah, gosh, what was I gonna say? Can't remember now. I do have quite a bit. Hopefully I'll have more out soon, but I really don't know. It's hard to have time. Alterations concerning what exactly? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I mean, the Zapruder film, or autopsy photos? It's interesting that you haven't made a video about the autopsy photos, No True Flags. I think it'd be a good topic to cover, because there's a lot of controversy about that. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, No True Flags here is asking you, Kenneth, if you think any of the films are altered. I don't know if you're watching. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know the autopsy photos are a hard subject to cover just because there's so much about them. But there are so many photos that are completely missing from the autopsy. Yeah. I have a big list of what all photos are missing from the autopsy, like very specific list of every single format, every film that's missing. And there's well over 1,000, well over 1,000 photos missing from the autopsy alone, at least my estimates say. And the movie film, there's about 2,000 feet of movie film is missing. Of course, there's the film that Dennis David saw, shot by William Bruce Peitzer. Me and Kenneth, we both believe that that was shot by Peitzer through the closed-circuit camera which was in the room. Yeah. If anyone has any more questions for Kenneth, you'd have to ask him directly. Yeah. See, the only camera I have out right now is this one. The film door didn't want to stay on. It's not related to the assassination, but it's one I inherited. It's a Super 8 camera. It's a pretty good one, too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good camera. Can't really use it because the film is not only expensive, but it doesn't work. Yeah. Let's see, what else do I have? Let's see, why don't I take the camera over to where I have all my documents. So I have tons of stuff in here. Yeah, it's an older camera. It's from the 60s. It's a Super 8 camera. Oh, I have this one out too. Jack Daniels camera with the pistol grip. I have the pistol grips moved right now. We have big drawer of bunch of stuff. Gosh, it takes a long time to go through all of this. Yeah, stuff on Dennis David, and the assassination record review board. The camera was made in, I think, 67, 66, about. Yeah, tons of stuff in here. Yeah, I don't know what's all in here. Yeah, there's tons of stuff. The rest of this filing cabinet's empty because I've packed all of it up. Yeah. I have this here that I made for my documentary. It's yeah, I don't know. There's tons of stuff. I don't know what all it is. It's a poster I made for my documentary. I'm probably gonna print off a lot more of those and sell them when I do my conference down in Dallas. Don't have too much other stuff. Yeah, some test prints of a photo I took. Gosh, these test prints are terrible. Yeah. It's a photo of the Nelson Atkins Museum down in Kansas City. It's my friend there. It's a terrible, terrible test print, but he wanted a copy of the photo. Okay, we're gonna have to set this up a little bit differently now because my phone's about to die. Oh, no music anymore. Right now, I'm not currently selling my documentary just because I haven't actually finished it. But when I do finish it, I can put. I bought a bunch of DVDs and I can just burn it onto a bunch of DVDs. There won't be any like cover or anything on the DVDs, but that way you can have a copy of it. I will say, in my documentary, unless I say that it's owned by someone else, I think it's great for anyone to take any footage out of my documentary and to have a copy of it, because you'll see a lot in documentaries where they'll cut a film down so they can actually fit it in the documentary, and I don't like when they do that. And so anything I include, I'll include the whole thing, because God, I hate when they do that, when they cut some of it out. They usually have really good quality reproductions of that kind of stuff. But yeah, unless I say this owned by someone, then anyone can take anything from my documentary, use it, I don't mind. Yeah, a lot of my stuff I packed up, so I don't have it out. But I don't even have. I'm not even done filming my documentary yet, and so it'll be out probably by 2025. I can't promise that, but probably. I really don't know right now because it's hard to say. Um, who I'm planning on interviewing next? Um, well, I've already done quite a few interviews, and I'm just waiting for a time where it's convenient for the people I want to interview. I want to interview Todd Vaughn sometime, and Dennis Morissette, because they know quite a bit about the shooting. Yeah, Spritter film editing. I don't know what I believe about all of the edits in the film, but I do believe it was altered to some extent. I don't know how much, but I do believe it was altered. But yeah, as I was saying, I want to interview Todd Vaughn sometime and Dennis Morissette, maybe a few other people, but yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know who all I want to interview. It's hard to get in contact with people. I might do an interview with Gail Nix Jackson, but she hasn't responded to my message yet. So, just kind of waiting right now. Right now is a lot of waiting for me. Yeah, I've also used his motorcade thing uh, as just reference. Hmm. But, if anyone has any more questions, I'd love to answer them. Yeah, yeah. Pretty basic resource. But, would it be all right with you, No True Flags, to do just like a video call sometime that I could record and put up? If you're not comfortable with showing your face, I can edit it out. It's fine. Yeah, I just think it'd be a great idea. Uh, but we could. I just would love to talk to you through some kind of call. It's usually easier. Yeah. And what I want to do is, I'm not gonna really really interview you. But I just like to ask you some questions on what you believe, and go into depth about a lot of the videos that you've posted, because I think they're really interesting. But because you're only allowed to post 15-minute videos, um, it does limit how long they're allowed to be. So, and of course I've gotten around that. So, yeah, we could have an hour-long conversation, however long you want it to be. It'd be great to talk to you sometime. I just think a lot of what you're doing is interesting. Some stuff I've never heard about before. But, yeah, I understand that. I get why some people are pretty shy. I used to be pretty shy. That's why on my channel I didn't show my face for quite some time until I did my first live stream, which was months into my channel. But I understand. I understand completely. I just think it'd be great to have a conversation with you, even like however we do that. Even like if you want me to meet up with you in person, I don't know if you would want to do that, but it'd be great to have a conversation with you. And yeah. Does anyone have any more questions? Notice that there's not too many questions here anymore. I might wrap this up soon. That's because I have a few other things to do today, but nothing important. If anyone has any more questions, yeah, I'd love to answer a few more questions, but I'd say my favorite book on the assassination, I really can't decide because there's a lot of good ones, um, and also a lot of the good ones do have a few mistakes in them, but uh, yeah. Um, a lot of people are really creditable, but of course people make mistakes, as I have before. Um, Pictures of the Pain is especially um, a good one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm speaking at the JFK Lancer conference in November of this year, November 18th. Um, I do believe to watch it live you'd have to pay, but a couple days after I do it, I'll put it up on my channel. Um, hmm. Oh, what do I want to film in Dealey Plaza? I mean, I think it'd be a good idea to have, uh, I, yeah, uh, it, it'd be a good idea to film someone in a, a car going at, uh, I can calculate all the speeds of the limousine and have someone just simulate the actions of the limousine going down the street. And then from there, we can just film general scenes in Dealey Plaza. Um, like, we can see what it would look like from Gordon Arnold's position. If they'll let us, we can get up to one of the high floors of the Daltex building and film from there, see what it would look like in the Bray film. Get up on the overpass and do some shots to see what it would look like in the Beck film. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But yeah, I'll wrap this up soon. I don't know when, but probably soon. Yeah. Yeah. The only issue with doing a lot of this film is it the film itself does cost money to buy, of course. I think the average roll of 8mm film, actually good film, is about $50 a roll, or maybe a bit less, but about that. That's really the only issue I have with filming this kind of stuff. But other than that, I love to do this kind of stuff, but of course it would take a while to develop and scan. But yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I don't have it with me right now, but I shot a home movie last year with, I have a camera that's exactly like Orville Nix's, and gosh, that roll was expensive. It was expired 10 years, but, oh, what is your question? The roll was expired 10 years. It was a really good quality film, but it was literally $65 in total, including shipping. But I was able to use it, and it came out great. having them rescan the second half right now because the second half came out underexposed. Yeah, film prices today are crazy. 35 millimeters, $10 a roll. I have a few rolls, but of course some of it I've already used. I have one roll that I'm using right now and one that I'm not using, both black and white, 35 millimeter. And 120 is, God, it's expensive. It's, I think, $20 or $30 a roll. But movie film is by far the most expensive right now, because you usually pay by the foot. 16 millimeter is one of the more expensive stocks. But 16 millimeter, gosh, it's like $70 a roll for 100 feet. I think 35 millimeter movie film is, like, the prices are absolutely ridiculous. I think it's like $120 for maybe 400 feet of 35 millimeter film. But that's why I'm usually hesitant to use film for my videos, because it is really expensive, and it's not as available anymore as it was in the 60s. Ah, Dennis Morrissette's here. Yeah, I don't know what I can do about my volume. But yeah, I don't usually use film because it's just really expensive and just unreasonable. Yeah. Well, film back then, I know Kodachrome was by far the most expensive back then, but they don't even develop Kodachrome anymore. Yeah. I know there's places that develop Ektachrome film still. Some of the older Kodak stocks too, and of course Ektar, and yeah. 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 Ektachrome, I know they made it because it has really vibrant and good colors. Yeah, but I think I've said everything that I want to say. I've answered a lot of people's questions. And I've shown just about everything I have. And so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for your great questions and compliments, and it was great to have this discussion with some of you. I'll have more out as soon as I can, and hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, I'll have more soon. But this is just the end of this update for now. Oh, what was your question? You. Yeah, if you asked it, I didn't see it, and that's my fault. But could you ask it again? William Frost, I believe. So I'd love to answer your question. I just didn't see what it was. Yeah, Leroy Belvins, he was a great guy. I never got to talk to him directly, but I've seen his videos. He's unfortunately passed away now. But he was a great guy. He has tons and tons of stuff. And you can go through his channel and watch all of his videos. He has a lot of them still up. I think his family's still trying to continue his channel, but of course they haven't. Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, yeah. But I believe that is about all I have to say for right now. I will update as soon as I can on all this stuff. I haven't seen that picture, no. But it was colorizing. I really don't trust colorized pictures, especially with photos that are originally black and white. Yeah, you can send it to me through my email, but colorized pictures, God, it's. I mean, I see why they would like to, and some of the ones I've colorized came out all right, but it's. I really don't like the results that usually come out from it because it's basically what people think a color was, and it's not reliable. But I will wrap this up here. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with another update soon. Goodbye.